Hello, welcome back to the Divide We Fall podcast. I'm Jake.
I'm Greg.
And I'm Lindsay.
And today we're going to have a more quick action type of episode. We're each going to represent a topic or current event. But I want to start off things today by kind of apologizing, a formal apology. I was looking at the timeline on our YouTube channel, and I realized that the past 4 or so episodes have had the title school in it. And I felt bad kind of ragging on teachers because we really sometimes don't give them the credit they deserve. We really kind of just focus on the bad ones that aren't doing as well as some of the other ones, but there are good teachers out there doing the right things. Plenty of teachers at my school who are doing the right thing. I just wanted to apologize and say that. But yeah, that's it. Greg, you go. Or Lindsay.
Just going to piggyback off of that real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of teachers definitely in the Bucks County region that are working really hard. I know not superintendent, school board member Mike Thortwart, Dr. Mike Thortwart, is working really, really hard to get schools back up and running.
Yeah.
And I want to give him a huge shout out. He's also been a huge help. I've been in communications with him about getting schools back open. But yeah, I just want to put that out there. Lindsay, do you have anything you want to say real quick about the school boards and schools?
I mean, it's just kind of like my opinion based, but I feel like teachers are like cops, where there are a few, teachers are like the antithesis of cops, actually. Most teachers are good. There are a few bad.
Yeah.
And then it's opposite. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so we're going to do 2 current events for you today. We're going to try and keep this one a little shorter. Starting off, we're going to talk about the U.S. bombs and airstrikes in Syria, and how America is back and the children of the Middle East are crying. So Biden has been in office for about 40 days now, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on when this video goes out. And we have already started bombing Syria without congressional approval.
Oh my god. What does this button do?
Yeah, Tim Kaine, Hillary Clinton's running mate back in 2016, a predominant Democratic senator, is coming out and being like, why are you attacking Syria without congressional approval? This is what Democrats have been fighting for during the Trump administration, was we need congressional approval before you can do any sort of military action. And, I mean, depending on who's the president at the time, it's a flip-flop. So this is definitely an interesting to see that Democrats are now, or at least one Democrat, is coming out against a Democrat president and saying, look, you cannot just
bomb the shit out of people.
Yeah, you can't just kill people in Syria for funsies. Now, the Biden administration is claiming that this is a warning to Iran to be careful because the strike was on Iran militants in Syria. But
I don't get the point of it.
I don't understand why we're still in Syria. I thought we pulled out of Syria. Why are we back in Syria? Now, I can understand, we're trying to fight against Assad and things like that, but the only thing we're really doing while we're there is causing even more instability. There are plenty of allies in the region and other UN countries that can also be the police of the Middle East.
Right.
I don't think it's the U.S.'s job to be in the Middle East. Now, this is coming from a libertarian point of view where I don't even believe that Congress should be approving of wars. I think America should go and be sort of like a Switzerland of North America. No military presence around the world. We are not the police. We might be the strongest militarily and economically at the moment, but that doesn't mean we get to just go around and bully smaller nations like we have been since the Reagan and Nixon administration.
Yeah. Ever since, well, I can understand the Vietnam situation where we were trying to fight for Vietnam's trying to get rid of communism, but it still didn't work out. And then we tried with the Korean War, didn't work out because they ended up in a stalemate. So we were just kind of bouncing from nation to nation, saying, "Hey, we're America. We want to impose our views on other people." Well, yes, that may seem like the right thing to do. They're not us, and we're not them.
And
we went through hundreds of years to get to where we are. We're not going to do what they did to them. We're not going to do to them what we had to do in 10 years.
Exactly. Lindsay, do you have anything you want to say?
So on Twitter right now, there's actually a meme going around about the whole situation. And it's by this person named Amy Siskind. So she says, so different having military action under Biden. No middle school level threats on Twitter. Trust Biden and his team's competence.
Yes, let's trust Biden.
Yes, let's just bomb the shit out of the Middle East and then compliment how quiet it was. It wasn't quiet for the people there. Just us, because we're fucking ignorant.
It's okay, because the drones now have big together we stand signs on them.
Oh my
and
God.
you know, the drones before had MAGA. The drones now have built back better. So it's okay. Everything's a little different. We're going to build Syria back better with these bombs.
It's
I'm a huge proponent of implementing a new. It doesn't have to be an amendment, but it can be new laws based on a current amendment in the Constitution that even limit the power of the president even more to do these types of strikes.
Right. And that just goes for any political party, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it does not matter what party you are. I believe you should have approval of Congress before you do any sort of military strike. Yes, the president is the leader of the military. They are the commander-in-chief. They run the military. And they are the foreign relations individual in the U.S. government. It's not Senate doesn't make treaties with other nations. The president makes treaties and things like that. And then Senate has to approve of those treaties, but it's the president who is the sole individual who kind of works on that stuff. However, having that much power in a single individual to just, if he wants to drop a Moab, which is the largest bomb the U.S. has before a nuke, for fun, without needing the approval of Congress, of course he needs some approval in the Pentagon and things like that. But the Pentagon's going to be yeah, let's drop bombs. They're the military people. They want to drop the bombs.
It's not even congressional power or military power. He has public power, too. So if he has, diehard fans, which I'm sure he does, and he does anything, they'll be yeah, you got it.
Yeah, when Trump dropped the Moab on Afghanistan, I think it was Afghanistan in 2018 or 2017, his supporters was yeah. And everyone else was no. But, again, like I said, it does flip-flop. It depends, who's the president at the time. And, Lindsay, do you have anything else you want to cover on this topic?
not really, no. I just... Liberals will do anything to defend the Democrats at all costs. It's...
Yeah.
GG, well played.
Exactly. So that's that. It's just a little tidbit of what's going on right now with the Middle East situation and in America. We'll post all of our sources in the description if you want to do your own research.
We implore that you do.
We do implore that you do. Don't look just at our sources. Look at other sources. Lindsay, what do you have your current event?
I do. So I want to talk about the really stupid, pathetic fight between Congresswoman Newman and Representative Greene. So they have offices adjacent to each other, on the opposite sides of the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So Newman voted for the Equality Act and Greene voted against it. So Newman put up a transgender flag outside of her office, not only for the Equality Act, but also for her transgender daughter. And Greene, out of, I don't know if it's spite or political theater or what, she put a sign up on the other side of the hallway that says, there are two genders, male and female, trust the science. And I have more than one question about why she did this, because for starters, part of the flag represents this Congresswoman's transgender daughter. So, in a way, you're kind of proving her point because her transgender daughter identifies as a female. So that is one of the genders. So why are you so angry? Second off, traditionally, the transgender flag represents just men and women, and there are other different flags for other different gender identities. So again, you're just proving her point by saying there are male and female genders.
Nice.
So, like, what are you trying to prove here? You know? Like, it's just stupid. And third, the science does not believe that male and female are the only genders. In no way. There are so many different ways to express your gender identity, and it's easily provable through, like, neuroscience specifically. Like, they've already found that there's just so much stuff that goes into what your gender is and your gender identity and how you express your gender. Like, everything... She's just so wrong.
So yeah, I think that what this whole petty situation is about is biological differences, if I'm right.
I mean, I'd assume because a lot of people who make that same argument are like, it biologically, this senator or this House of Representatives member's child would still be their birth,
Right.
sex or gender or whatever.
If they're a transgender and they went from whatever to a female, then that's still one of the two genders biologically. That means they're female now. That's still one of the genders.
I mean,
yeah.
The way I think about it is just, it's kind of the situation of, don't do it on my lawn. You know what I mean? If you want to be transgender, if you believe you're transgender, change your gender. If you want to be a furry, go be a furry. If you want to, be naked, go be naked. If you want to be gay, if you feel like you're gay, if you are gay, go be gay.
If you want to be straight, go be straight.
If you want to be straight and you're straight, go be straight. But if you're going to be gay, please don't have gay sex on my lawn. Don't get your surgery on my lawn. If you're a furry, don't yiff on my lawn. That's how I see it.
It's just figurative.
This is all figurative. Like, you can do whatever you want because your rights end where your nose begins. Or where my nose begins. You can do whatever you want to your own body and in your own life, as long as it doesn't affect the people around you.
Right.
Now, whether I believe...
I think that's most people in the new generation think.
Yeah, like...
Or in our generation, my bad.
Whether you agree or not with transgenderism, LGBT, at least just let them live their lives, because they're not affecting you in the grand scheme of things. Like, they're really not hurting you by changing their gender.
And by you saying they can't do that, you're trying to limit their rights, which is, holy shit, very unconstitutional.
Let this individual change their gender if they want to. Now, where I think it gets a little more muddy and where, fighting against transgenderism can have a foothold is when it talks about transgender children below the age of 18.
Oh my God.
I think that's an argument where people can start saying, well, you can't, you can, whatever. Like, that's where an argument can be made. But, like, once you're 18 plus, like, live your life. Don't let no one stop you. As long as you're not hurting anyone, live your life. You know what I mean? But, like, I don't understand why we need to, and especially on, who are people who are supposed to be leaders in our country. Why are we having petty fights? This is, like, high school level stuff. This is, like, the teacher across the way has, like, a Penn State flag, and the teacher across the hall puts up a Pitt flag.
That's actually what I was thinking.
You know
about.
what I mean? Like, like, I don't know if any of you guys had Gibson in Holland Middle School. I don't know.
No.
Gibson, she had a Penn State flag, like on her door, and I think she got remarried, so she has a different name now. But she had a Penn State flag on her door. Is she still go by Gibby?
I think so.
So she had a Penn State flag on her door, and some other teacher put up a Pitt flag on their door, and so then they also bought like a Pitt Panthers like cardboard cutout and like stuck it by their door, and then she bought a Penn State lion.
Oh my God.
So like that's what it reminds me of, but on a larger scale. If you guys are acting like middle school teachers trying to have fun, but you guys are being dickheads.
Yeah.
Or at
It's
least
like, just leave people be. Like, straight up. They're not... Like, the flag wasn't like a person... I mean, it was kind of meant to bother Greene, but it wasn't like,
I mean, like, I can understand a congressional individual putting up like a Blue Lives Matter flag or a transgender flag or something like that.
If they supported it.
If they support
wholeheartedly.
it.
But this just seemed out of spite. Like,
yeah, I feel like that people have been kind of, at least people in Congress, as far as I've seen, have been trying to make it a point to kind of get under Greene's skin. And I think this might have been like partly for the bill, partly for her daughter. It was a female congresswoman, right?
Yeah, female congresswoman's daughter.
Okay, so maybe it was partly for her daughter. Probably Probably also to make Greene a little upset.
Honestly.
Yeah, that was part of the point too.
Is this the same, Lindsay? Is this the same Greene as the one who said Jew lasers coming out of the sky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
this is the
Yes.
same
Yes.
one.
It is.
We talked about her in the past episode. Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just live your life and don't be a dick. That's kind of the what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And the don't be stupid part.
Don't be stupid.
Where it says, trust the science on there only being two genders, when the science does not support that at all. So I don't know what science she's referencing because it's clearly inaccurate. But whatever. Like, at least be honest if you're gonna... At least lie honestly. Because if the sources don't support your argument, just don't use any sources.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's better than just straight up lying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know enough about this topic, or the topic of transgenderism science, so I'm not gonna make like a claim on that. I'd say do research yourself as well if you're interested.
I also
in the topic.
think the struggle with transgenderism as a topic is that the more science you try to involve it, the more controversial it gets.
Also, it becomes less human. The
Yeah,
more science you put into it, it becomes less about humans being, identifying a certain way and more of like a statistic.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But yeah,
I think we might wrap up here. This is a very short. It's not very short. It's 16 minutes, but we all got places to go. But this was definitely a good episode. I enjoyed it. We all had fun.
yeah, a little bit of banter.
Yeah. Yeah, we might do more of these in the future, like once a week kind of thing, like a current event episode. But yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.